So he knocks the arrow, he pulls it back, and he fires it. In the rain and the wind and everything else, it goes a little bit off course from where he was aiming, and you're able to sort of knock the arrow out of the way with the shield and continue on. The two brigands that had pulled swords and that were about 50 feet away or so, they both charge towards you. They get about 15 feet away, and that's as far as they can go this round. But they're still sort of running towards you, swords drawn, ready to fight, the two of you. That is their turn. Nebuchadnezzar.
All right, so I'm just gonna pick up the knife
on deck.
What?
I was just saying, Edrhel's on deck. I'm gonna start letting you guys know when you're up next.
So I'm gonna pick up the knife from the ground, and I'm just gonna charge the guy on the right. I'm still in my fury mode, so I'm just like yelling. There's like a laughter as well. I'm like laughing and yelling at the same time.
Yeah, you are.
And does this count if I do a two? Like if my fist counts as a weapon and the dagger also counts as a weapon, I can do like a double attack. Will that be allowed?
Can you attack with? An offhand bonus attack. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Yep. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna run there, and I'm just gonna do the same guy twice. Yep. So the first thing I'm gonna
your offhand attack does not get to add the proficiency bonus to your attack roll.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm just gonna go at him. I'm gonna pretty much gonna jump out, just with my fist and also my knife. So this is for my knife attack here.
Yep.
Oh geez.
So this is on the right.
Yeah.
Guy who is charging at you guys. Okay.
So I got an 8 for that knife attack. Pretty bad.
Bad. You go to jab and he pushes your hand aside.
So then I'm gonna come in with like the left hook. So I can get that one in there. Oh my gosh. And I got a 7.
7. You go for that left hook and he backs up a little bit and you actually clank your hand on just one fragment of his metal armor. And you just kind of shake your hand a little bit.
Well, when I'm enraged and I have a resistance against bludgeoning, piercing, and stabbing. So my guy's like in like just a blind fury, so he's probably not feeling any pain too much at this point. Yeah.
You leave a small dent in the armor.
Yeah.
And you're just like, Argh!
And that's my turn. Did a whole lot of nothing.
You picked up the dagger though. That was good.
Thank you. Thank you, Derek, for the support.
Got you, bud.
Haley, you're on deck.
Edrhel.
Was it Haley or was it me?
Haley's next. So you're saying?
Oh,
you're up. Haley's next.
All right. So I grabbed my stuff. I grabbed my bow. I go next to Will since he's behind the car. I also hide behind the cart, and I want to start shooting at these guys. I'm gonna start with the one. How close are the two guys to the dwarf?
One of them is right on the dwarf because they're fighting. The other one is about 5 feet away to his left. They were running towards the two of them together. There is another person about 40 feet away from you that also has a bow.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot the guy with the bow.
Okay.
All right. So tell me, what do I have to do?
So you're going to roll a d20. You're going to add your proficiency bonus and your dexterity modifier to that roll and tell me what you get.
Where's the proficiency bonus?
It's +2 right now.
All right,
based
cool.
on your level.
That gives me it's proficiency bonus and what else?
Dexterity modifier.
That'll be 13.
13, that is just enough. You're going to roll damage on your short bow. It should be on your character sheet.
It's a great bow, isn't it?
Oh, is it a great bow?
Yep.
I trust you. It's your character sheet. I don't have it memorized.
That's a great bow.
That is a great bow. It says 1d8 plus 3.
There you go. So roll a d8 and add 3. 3 is for your dexterity modifier.
Oh, cool. That'll be 5.
What'd you say?
5 total.
5 total. All right. So as these two sort of brigands are running towards Nebuchadnezzar and Cyril, Nebuchadnezzar kind of goes up and he's trying to beat on one of them, and the guy's just deflecting the attacks pretty deftly. And you just take a second, calm your breathing, line up a shot, fire an arrow, and it goes actually right over Nebuchadnezzar's head. You feel a bit of wind kind of pull on your mullet a little bit, Nebuchadnezzar, and it sinks into like right under the shoulder on the other guy who had his bow drawn, and it kind of knocks him back off balance a little bit. Pretty effective.
I go, talk about a close shave.
Oh my gosh. Good job, Gabe.
Good job,
job.
Gabe.
Good job, Edrahel. Are you gonna stay in that position? You were standing by the wagon, right?
Behind the wagon.
Behind the wagon. So you can, with where you are, you can pop out, fire, and then go back behind the wagon. So it's you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Since
Okay.
I was right next to Will, just
So
hiding from
you
action.
take cover behind the wagon after firing
Roger.
a shot.
Yes.
Haley, you are up. Dala, you're after.
All right, I'm gonna put my bow and my not arrow. That's the word. Away, since having it drawn, I'm already pretty slow as it is. So and I'm following after Dala, but can I do it stealthily? Like we're sneaking away
Okay.
from the battle. We don't want to draw any attention to us.
What kind of armor do both of you have?
I have light leather armor.
Okay. What's on your character sheet, Dala? That is one thing I didn't write down because I need to know who's going to have disadvantage on stealth checks.
Well, I actually have. Well, that's not disadvantage. I was going to say I have proficiency, but that's not advantage.
No.
It will be in your equipment.
Yeah.
Bottom middle of the page, it should say.
It's like mail, like something mail.
Oh, ring mail?
Email is going to give you disadvantage on it, yeah.
But is she wearing her armor right now? Did she put it on yet?
She hasn't yet.
Oh, she hasn't. You're right.
Nope, she's
Fair
not
enough.
wearing armor yet. So.
All right. Both of you go ahead and roll stealth checks. Yeah, I'd say that the 3 guards really haven't seen you because you've been on the outside of the wagon the whole time. So, best of luck. So roll a d20, add your stealth skill.
And that's for what?
21.
And what am I adding?
The stealth, it's in your list of skills. It's alphabetical. It's gonna be near the bottom.
It will be your dexterity modifier, most likely. So it's
Yeah,
probably going to be a +2.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's why I
Uh,
recommend always
17.
adding all of the numbers there instead of just what you're proficient in. What'd you say, Dala?
17?
17. All right. The both of you sneak away, probably unseen. You can't be sure, but you feel like you're being pretty quiet amidst the thunderstorm and the fighting going on. So Dala and Haley, it's both of your turns right now because Dala held her action. So what are you guys doing? I need to know.
Dala?
What are we doing?
What's up?
Didn't think we would get this far.
So we're trying to, so we're kind of sneaking away. Nobody sees us.
As far as you can tell.
Okay. All right. So, well, the reason I stopped Edrahel and Haley is because they were going the opposite way that I want them to go. So I start running the opposite way because I believe that that's the way, to get to a safer landmark. So
So she starts running?
so we kind of just like, nobody can see us because I believe that the others are, like, the others around the wagon are in the back, right? So so everybody's like more in the back of the wagon, so they can't really see us. So we kind of sneak in the front where nobody is,
Okay.
and we just kind of run to the opposite side, kind of like into, we're trying to get to the woods that way. So
she hasn't said anything yet, so I'm just standing there trying to follow her, and she just takes off running.
What is going on?
Okay.
I thought you wanted my help.
Yeah. So can I say like you have
You're supposed to run?
I'm
I'm
trying
not
to think.
very fast runner.
Well, we're kind of jogging because nobody can see us, so we're still able to get away without people kind of noticing.
Okay.
But
You're jogging.
as we're jogging, you look at me confused because you're like, "Where am I going? And what am
That's
I
what I'm
helping?"
trying to figure out.
So I kind of like, I'm like talking to you as we're jogging right next to each other, and I'm just like, oh,
You don't have to role play it. You can just explain. You can just tell me what you explain.
just follow me. I think I could use your, I don't know, intelligence, and I don't know, you're smart. So I don't know. I feel like, I just feel like, I need a better, somebody to help me out, I guess, like, because I can't do it alone. So I'm just like, hey, I can't do it alone. So, I don't know. I didn't think about that.
Is this a prank? Because this is a really poor time for a prank.
No, I'm serious.
Okay. That's about how much you have time to share back and forth.
Just like they talk for 10 minutes.
30 feet away from the wagon, about as fast as Haley can move. She's a little bit slower. She's got short legs. As you guys make your way away from the wagon and away from the battle, away from the woods, sort of just running into this plain sort of flatland as far as the eye can see. Way out on the horizon, you do see a mountain range, the Misty Mountains, but those are close to a day's journey away. But you're running away from the wagon, away from the forest, out into the field. Cyrell, your turn.
All right. Well, Cyrell's completely oblivious to what the girls are doing because there's three guys in front of him. So he's got interesting fighting style. He's got a shield and a sword, and he's like twirling his sword, and he like runs in. He sees the Nebuchadnezzar just going crazy, so he is going to kind of run in and jump and try to like hit the same guy that Nebuchadnezzar's going after, but he's kind of in a way doing it from an angle so he can kind of keep his distance from where the dwarf is swinging wildly.
Okay.
So, yep.
All right, make your roll.
21.
Unfortunately, that's not enough.
No.
No, that hits. Roll damage.
Dang, dude.
He's wearing mithril armor.
Rip.
4 damage.
4 damage. Okay. All
I
right.
said force damage for a second. Like the Star Wars universe all of a sudden.
You kind of bring your sword around, a little bit of a flourish, and you slice it. Right as that bandit guy is lifting his sword up and kind of going to take a swing at the dwarf, and you're able to slice him like right under his arm, kind of get him in his side a little bit, and it causes him to flinch in pain. Is that your turn?
Yeah, I want to make sure I'm kind of within 5 feet of the dwarf. I'm kind of
Mhm.
standing back so he doesn't hit me, but I also want to be there to try to protect him.
All right, so you guys are both next to each other. Speaking of dwarf, Nebuchadnezzar, you are up. Edrahel, you're next.
All right. So what I'm going to try to do here is, with my free hand, I'm going to try to grapple this guy's sword arm.
Okay.
That'll be my first action.
All right, so that's a contested athletics check.
Yep. But because I'm still raged, and because that rage lasts for a minute, it's been about 4 rounds since.
Just wait till you see what he rolled.
All right. Well, let's see what I get here. Well, I got a nat 20.
Nice.
He got a natural 4.
Okay. So,
You succeed with style.
all right. So I just kind of grab his arm, and I'm going to take the knife. I'm just going to try to go straight for the jugular, just try to get him. So
All
pretty
right.
brutal, but
All right,
hopefully
so,
it's effective. So let me do an attack roll on that guy.
with advantage.
Okay. So I got because against my main hand, I got a 15.
15's enough to hit. Just
All right.
enough, barely.
And then that's a die 4. That'll be plus 3 damage. So I did 5 damage. Just a die.
All
So I
right.
get him and I get him.
I get him, and then I get him.
You kind of, as he goes to swing that sword at you, Cyrell slices at his side, and it causes him, he get a little bit weak. His arm drops a little bit, and when his elbow kind of comes down, you hook your arm over his elbow and jump up off the ground and just get leverage on his arm to pull you up tall enough to go for his neck. You don't, your blade doesn't find purchase exactly where you wanted in the neck to maybe deal a decisive blow, but you bring it down into right here, and you break through a bit of his clavicle, and you can see blood just starting to kind of run down his shirt, and he yells out in pain. That's your turn?
That'll be my turn, yeah. But just know that I still have him held.
Yeah, you're still grappling.
Yeah, okay.
For sure. Yep. Edrahel, you're up next, and then it's the brigand's turn.
All right. I want to shoot to the guy with the bow and arrow again. However, while I'm shooting, I want to squeal, "Hey, what's your story?" Just like, "Hey, what's going on?" You know?
I like it. Little Hawkeye in Age of Ultron. I like it. Okay.
Just a man with arrows. I don't even know why I'm here.
All right.
So make your attack roll.
All right. So I roll. Is that a 91 or a 16? That's 16. So.
Did you say 91? What level are you starting at, game?
That hits. Yeah.
All right. So now I have to check, right? To see how much damage.
D8 plus 3.
7.
7.
Nice.
7.
With that, you see him. He's got an arrow knocked. He's about 50 feet away from you or so, and he's actually looking in your direction. You can see he was waiting for you to peek your head around. He takes an attack of opportunity. He had held his attack from the previous round, so he's going to fire an arrow at you, and that is 10 total, which unfortunately is not going to hit you. Your AC is too high. So
I think that's fantastic.
you pop around the wagon and you kind of hold your breath for a second. You see him staring at you. You both let arrows loose at the same time. You don't even flinch. You can see the trajectory of his arrow, and it whizzes right past your head. You just stand there as your arrow finds purchase in his chest, and you see him kind of stumble back for a second and look up at you, and then collapse face first onto the ground. He is dead.
Oh.
Good shot, Edrahel.
He was just a poor boy.
The poor
Poor
family.
family.
Do I have to wait for Will to answer me, or?
What does Will say? In 6 seconds that a round takes. In 6 seconds, what is it?
Man, we're in the middle of a battle here. Even I know not to talk.
And that's about all that Will gets out before he sees the arrow fly past your head. And he's like, "Oh God!" And that's your turn. It's going to be the brigand's turn. So the one who is being grappled by you, Nebuchadnezzar, he's going to try and get his sword into you. He's going to have to attack with disadvantage.
Okay.
The first one was a 14, and 2 14s. I rolled 11 twice.
Oof. All right. Well, my AC is a 14.
All right. Meet or exceed. So it hits.
Yep.
He
half
I'm not going to give him his strength bonus on the damage because you're grappling him and he's wielding a longsword. I don't feel realistically he's going to be able to get all the leverage he's going to want on this swing. So it's just going to be straight sword damage. And it's 2 points of slashing damage, which you're raging, so you're resistant, so half.
Yep. So,
So 1 point of slashing damage as he kind of brings the sword across your back and just kind of rakes the blade back and forth. And
I
it
just
doesn't
laugh.
get very deep.
Yeah.
He looks a little intimidated. Make an intimidation check.
Okay. Don't mind if I do. Oof. Oh, boy. I got a 10.
A 10. You laugh in the face of danger, and he laughs in your face as he digs the sword a little bit deeper.
I laugh louder than him, and I make sure that I get the last laugh before his turn ends. Because he has 6 seconds, and I'm going to get that last second. I'm like, ha! Just get a little. I'm going to get the last laugh.
So that's his turn. The other one, who also has a sword drawn, is it's sort of like you and this guy, and then right here is Cyrell, and then over here is the other one. So he's actually going to go for Cyrell. He's going to sort of bring his sword up, and you see this guy. It's not a long sword. He's actually got a short sword. He's a little bit lighter on his feet, and he's going to take 2 attacks against you. The first one is a 16 to hit, which I believe hits. The second one is a 19 to hit, so they both hit.
Both hit.
It's going to be a total of 4 points of slashing damage to you, Cyrell. And now it kind of goes Brigand, Cyrell, Brigand, Nebuchadnezzar, and you're all in this very close group around each other. Anyone who is ranged, for example, Edrahel, I would say that the one attacking Nebuchadnezzar is going to have like half cover, and the one attacking Cyrell is going to be 3/4 cover, so it improves their AC. So it's going to be harder to hit them because you're having to aim around the other 2 people. That is their turn. Haley and Dala, you guys are together, and you're also right next to each other in initiative, so I'll let you guys take your turns together for the moment. What are the 2 of you doing?
How far along are we? Like, are we
30 feet away from the wagon.
Are we just headed off in a certain direction, or is there like a destination we're headed to?
Well, we stopped near a tree. Yeah.
There are no trees except for the forest. It is a plain field in the middle of a thunderstorm.
Oh man. Well, there's a big like stone.
Make a perception check to see if
Are we like kind of
see
hide
if you can
behind?
find a stone. Make a perception check for me.
Finds a little stone, picks it up. Stealth mode initiated. Puts our head.
Find a cardboard box.
Yeah. Doom. Oh,
Oh
man.
no.
Perception.
Okay. 7.
7. You try to look around your surroundings. It's pitch black except for when lightning flashes. It's a little disorienting, and you're not able to find any cover out here in the field.
So I guess we just keep moving, huh?
Oh man.
How?
Yeah.
No, my short bow's not long enough range for me to turn around and shoot anybody.
Yeah, it is. Short
Yeah,
bows
it's 'cause-
go out to 120 feet.
Okay, I forget that I got little legs. I'm not going very far.
It's 30 to the wagon. It's another 20 to 30 to the brigands. So they're well within short bow range.
Okay.
They are going to have a +2 to their AC because of the other people fighting around that you're trying not to hit. So
And if you roll a 1, just know you're gonna probably hit me. So just keep that in mind.
Okay, I
It doesn't
don't
matter what
think
you're doing.
that will happen, but
Well, okay,
maybe
we'll
now that I
see.
said it, it will.
Maybe not will.
So I'm just gonna pause because I feel kind of useless. I'm gonna pause and turn around and fire my short bow at one of the people coming from the words.
The one attacking Nebuchadnezzar looks pretty wounded. The one attacking Cyrell, not really. Which one of those 2 in this instant decision you have to make? Which one are you going to fire for?
Is it only 2 men?
Yes.
yeah.
They
Okay,
already
then
took care
the
of
one, then the one that's fighting Israel.
There's one fighting Nebuchadnezzar, who is wounded. There's one fighting Cyril, who is not.
Oh, Cyril. I thought you said Israel.
No.
Yeah, Cyril.
Okay.
Um,
Shoot your shot.
Blah.
so it's just plus my proficiency, right?
And dexterity.
And dexterity. Okay, so we got a 15.
15. Just enough with the extra cover that they have. His AC was modified to 15. So, yep, that hits.
job,
So it's a D6 plus dexterity. Damage.
Yes. 4.
4. Okay. All right. Respectable. All right. So you, as you're running away with Dala, you kind of take a second. You feel just something in you doesn't feel right. Not knowing why you were captured, how you ended up in the back of a wagon. You feel bad running away from these other people who are being attacked. And for a moment, your nature kind of takes a hold of you, and you kind of turn around in one smooth motion. You draw, knock an arrow, and fire. It zooms over the wagon. Wilhelm sees it fly over, and he goes, oh! And it goes over the wagon, slamming into a brigand that is fighting you, Cyril. Right as he kind of gets those 2 attacks on you with the short swords, and he kind of does a little flourish and takes a step back. And right as he takes a step back and looks at you, an arrow comes by and slams into his shoulder, and kind of disorients him a little bit. That is his turn. Yep.
I yell to Cyril, I say, save my arrow!
You hear, save my arrow! From a bit away over the sound of the thunderstorm and the rain pouring around you. Cyril, it is your turn. Nebuchadnezzar, you're on deck.
All right. I'm going to turn to the dwarf and say, we need to finish this guy. As I'm like wincing off of that last wound. With my shield still kind of directed at the guy who's fighting me, I'm going to like swing to the side to try to hit the guy that Nebuchadnezzar has grappled. So
Okay, with
I'm gonna
advantage.
finish him off. With advantage, awesome.
Yep, because he's grappled.
12.
Ooh, 12 is not enough
Okay.
to hit. So you go for a swing. Both times you go for that swing as he's sort of tussling with the dwarf. Right before your sword lands, he kind of moves and puts the dwarf in the way, and so you're like, ah, and you got to like stop before you slam your blade in Nebuchadnezzar, and you're not able to find purchase in that brigand. That's your turn.
Yep.
All right, Nebuchadnezzar, you
All right.
are up.
So my guy laughs maniacally how his own teammate almost scalps him. And then so I have him gripped. I'm going to bring my knife up to his throat, but instead of like actually cutting into him, I'm going to roll an intimidation and just try to like press it enough to draw a little bit of blood, but then to kind of calm him down if I can. So that's my main
Make
goal.
an intimidation check.
All right. Oh, 21. 21.
Okay. Total of 12 on his end. He takes 1 point of piercing damage as you just kind of push the blade into his neck a little bit. He's looking really rough at the moment. And you can see that his demeanor has changed slightly in response to your action. Is there anything else?
And then what I yell at him as I say, voice, you know what's coming. No one tossles a dwarf.
Okay. All right. It's now their turn.
Okay, rip me. And then I die.
He's going to attempt to break the grapple, so contested athletics check.
All right.
Ooh, 16 for me.
All right. Well, my last thing of rage here up. I only got a 14, so he was able to break out.
All right. So you say that, and he's like, "Good. I don't want to," and then just pries you off of his arm. And then bonus action, he's going to reach into his pocket and grab a bottle of something and take a drink.
Okay.
That's his turn. The brigand that's fighting you, Cyril, he looks at the arrow that is in his chest, and he looks at you, and he grabs the shaft and just rips it out of his shoulder and tosses it on the ground. And then as a bonus action, he'll do an attack against you. A total of 10, so I don't think that hits.
Nope.
No. But he's trying to be a little bit intimidating. That is their turn. Edrahel, you're up. Haley and Dala, you're on deck.
All right. Are there any new openings after the intimidation that the dwarf had on this guy?
They, the guy who was fighting Nebuchadnezzar, he's not nearly as covered. I probably wouldn't give him a bonus to his AC.
Okay. I'm gonna ask Will again. It's like, come on, just tell me what's the deal here? Who are you? Who are you with this guy? What's your story? You know, as I just fly out another arrow to
All right.
the guy that's fighting with this lovely dwarf that I just met. That
Yeah.
I believe I just met.
All right. Let me know what you get. Roll your d20. Make an attack roll.
All right, that's 7. I don't think I hit.
You rolled a 7 to hit.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that does not hit. The arrow, it goes a little high, misses him completely. You're distracted by the wonderful story being told to you by Wilhelm. Or whatever it is he says. What does Wilhelm say, Cyril?
Give us a story.
He's like, goodness, okay, he's married to my sister. Can we deal with this later?
You kind of chuckle at that answer because you weren't expecting it. It's like, and that laugh is what kind of knocks your arrow a little bit off course. You're not even mad, really. You're just enjoying the moment. You know, this is you're comfortable with a bow. You like this. Dala, Haley, what's up?
So she I take out my I have the short bow. So I take that out. Well, of course I look behind because I saw Haley shoot. So I did the same.
Okay.
And, yeah.
All right. So roll a d20, add your dexterity and your proficiency, which is +2. Tell me what you get. Which of the two brigands are you firing at? Are you firing at the one that was attacking the dwarf or the one that was attacking? Okay, the dwarf. You got it. Let me know what you roll.
15.
15 barely hits, but it does hit. So roll a d6 and add your dexterity modifier.
4.
4. Okay. As he takes a drink from this bottle and throws it down, it had a sort of just a small glass cylinder. Really, it kind of shatters on the ground. And he wipes his face and he looks at you, Nebuchadnezzar, and he brings his sword up. And as he swings the sword, this arrow flies right past your mullet. Once again, kind of tussling your hair in the breeze. Slams into his sternum, buries about 4 or 5 inches deep, and he kind of looks down and he looks up at you. He looks down, he looks up at you.
I look down at him and then up
backwards.
at him. Okay. I also look at his wound up at him. It's like looking at each other.
He collapses onto his back. Dead.
Ooh, good job, Dala. Good job.
There is one brigand left fighting Cyril, and there's the other one that you left unconscious closer to the tree line. Haley?
So I turn to Dala and I say, oh, so now you want to finish the fight. Don't you think we should wait for them to catch up? And then I'm going to also shoot my at the same guy I shot before, the one fighting Cyril.
Okay.
Keep my arrows together, you know?
Yeah. So roll. Let me know what you do.
I believe that's a 13. It
13?
doesn't hit.
As you knock your arrow and you take aim, you're about to fire and you hesitate for just a second. When you hesitate, a bolt of lightning slams down the field about 10 meters away from you and charges the air. You smell ozone. It causes you to jump a little bit. You're thankful that you hesitated, because if you had fired right then, you would have missed. And then you take aim, you fire once more. 13 is just enough to hit. Roll damage.
I thought 15 was enough to hit.
15 was enough to hit when you had cover from Cyril.
Oh, okay. So it's plus my dexterity, right?
Yes.
8.
8. Holy crap.
Oh my goodness.
No, wait. Sorry. 7. But still.
Okay. That 1 point does matter. As your arrow flies through the air, it finds purchase closer to the center of his chest. You just barely miss his heart, but it buries into his chest. He coughs a little bit into his hand. Blood kind of comes out. Cyril, you see that as that arrow shoots into him again. And in the darkness, you look around, and without the lightning flash, you can't actually see where the arrow came from, but you're grateful regardless. And he kind of like falls back onto a knee. He buries his sword into the ground and pries himself back up, looking very rough, very damaged, and stands back up, barely alive. Cyril, your turn.
All right. I'm going to sort of stand up straight and tall, take a deep breath, and I'm going to second wind.
That'd be a good idea. Yeah. Get,
All right,
get
so
some
I
points back.
4 points back.
There you go.
And then I'm going to raise my sword towards him, and I'm going to be like, stand down or I will finish this. And I'm going to hold an action if he does anything threatening to attack him.
Okay, so make an intimidation check, and if he does anything threatening towards you, you will be able to attack.
Or the dwarf for beside you.
Okay.
Oh, nat 20.
Mm,
With a -1 charisma, that's a 19, but it's a nat 20. So
That's good enough.
Okay.
So you say that, and you see him looking at you, looking at the dwarf, looking at the wagon that's been almost completely demolished. And we'll see what he does on his turn. Nebuchadnezzar, you are up.
All right. So if this guy looks a little jarred and scared, kind of what's happened, I'm just gonna come up. I'm gonna try to like wrench the sword from his arm or from his hand. Just kind of disarm. I'm just gonna try to disarm the guy. So it's kind of jump on his arm and like kind of yank it with the sword with me.
Okay.
So,
We're gonna do a contested athletics check for that.
all right.
He is not going to give in this moment.
Okay.
I rolled a 15.
Oh, I got a 10. So you got me.
Wow. Okay. All right. So you kind of jump up and you like put your hand on the handle and try to like kick off of his chest and just rip the sword off of his hand. But he reaches back and he just backhands you right in the face, across the eye and everything. And you don't really feel the pain, but the impact itself knocks you off balance, and he's able to sort of wrench you away as he sort of regains his balance, and he looks at you guys again.
And what I yell at him is I just yelled, "Drop the bloody sword!" is what I yell at him. You know.
Intimidation check.
All right. Oh my! A 10 again. Ay.
Okay.
It's like my dice just like bounced like straight up. I don't know what happened. It was just like the worst stupid dice rolls of my life. I was like, what?
Yeah. It's his turn.
Okay.
He's surveying the situation. He's looking at the arrow that's sticking out of his chest currently. And he drops his sword, turns around, and runs as fast as he can. He's using his action to dash, and he is running. Not towards the trees, just out into the field away from you guys as fast as he possibly can.
I hope he trips.
He was in melee with both of you, so you would get technically an attack of opportunity.
Can I try to bash him with my shield before he runs off?
Yeah.
I'm trying to knock him out.
Yep. I call this a strength-based attack, so strength and proficiency bonus.
Okay. 19.
19 hits. So it's
Oh.
a melee attack. Even 1 point of damage would be enough to kill him. So kill or capture is your choice.
I just want to capture him.
Okay. So he drops his sword and he just turns and runs. And as he does, you just reach over and you're able to just make connection with the sort of the back of his head, neck, and back like all at once. And he just trips and he falls forward. As he does, he lands on the arrow that was in his chest. And it sinks into him. And even though you weren't trying to kill him, he takes his last breath there on the ground.
Don't worry, guys. Remember that I saved that one guy who's still alive.
There
He's
is
just passed
one.
out.
There is
Save.
one unconscious brigand by the overturned wagon, and there's still a covered wagon. No one came out of the back of the wagon. You don't know what's in there.
I think we found your arrow.
Haley, do you go over to try and retrieve your arrow?
Yeah, I'm gonna start walking back to them and say, Dala, we can head off this direction in a second. Let's figure out what's going on.
Okay. So just make a what kind of check would this be? Because that arrow is buried within him. Let's call this sleight of hand. It's a lot of manual dexterity to get that arrow out without breaking it.
Oh, me. Sorry.
Yes. yes, you, Haley. Your arrow.
Unnatural 20.
More than enough. More than enough. It takes you a second. It's not the most elegant of things to retrieve an arrow from a dead person, but you are able to acquire your arrow and put it back in your quiver after wiping it off.
And then I take out one of my handkerchiefs and wipe my hands and stuff.
So while she's doing that, then I am gonna go over to the unconscious guy. I'm just gonna pat him down, just kind of see what he has on him. If there are any more knives or weapons, I'm just gonna take those. If there's any gold or any letters or anything like that to tell who this guy might be, that's all. That's what my plan is. So
make an investigation check.
All right, and I am gonna take my time on this because I'm not in a rush. Just so you know.
All right, I'll give you advantage since you went so far as to tell me you're taking your time on it. And the combat is over, so you're able to act.
I got a 16. So
16. Okay. You find a small coin purse. It doesn't have that much in it. A few silver pieces. You can count it later. You don't see or find any letters or any parchment papers on him. You get a better look at his armor and the weapons that they had. It definitely seemed to be pretty cheaply made stuff or stuff that had been around for quite a long time, had worn out. Nothing overly interesting on this guy.
Okay. I guess the last thing I'll do is I'm gonna look around the dirt or mud until I find some of the ropes that bound us up that are not ripped. I'm just gonna bind this guy's hands and feet just to make extra sure. So whatever this is what I'm doing while they're doing whatever they're gonna be doing.
Okay, sounds good. While he is tying up the one living brigand, the four of you, what are each of you doing?
I'm going to say, good job, team. Elf, come with me. I need some cover. I'm going to start heading towards the caravan that's covered. My goal is to see what's behind the cover, but I'm going to start walking up.
I follow because I also want to retrieve my arrows. I want to see if I'm as handy as the Hobbit and I'm able to grab my arrows out of the guy.
All right, so go ahead and make a sleight of hand check for me there, Edrel.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get my arrows out. That's a 2.
2? All right, so
let's say 5 with the dexterity.
Fair enough. Yeah, you try and retrieve your arrows, but the armor had damaged them too much, and they weren't really worth salvaging at that point. You are able to take the arrowheads off, so you get 2 arrowheads back that you can use to craft more arrows. But the shafts were too splintered to retrieve.
All right.
Cyril, I didn't hear. Did you take Wilhelm with you as well, or just Edrel?
I just call it for the elf.
Okay. All right. So you and Edgerhelm, after he retrieves his arrows, he catches up with you. You guys walk around to the wagon. Are you just going to go around and look in the back? Are you inspecting the wagon? What are you doing first when you approach the wagon?
My goal is to see if there's anything in the back. Like I don't know if there's bad guys in there that's going to jump out at us. So I'm approaching pretty ready. I'm also going to yell out, Hobbit, keep us covered as well, please. And then just going to go up to the
So
wagon.
you walk around to the back of the wagon. As you get closer to the side, maybe about 5-10 feet away, you do notice in the cold thunderstorm, the rain, everything is still pouring right now. Every few seconds, you notice a little bit of like steamy air coming out of the back of the wagon. You're not sure if there's, what could possibly be in there, what horror awaits you potentially.